Welcome back. We're talking about haters. Very juicy topic here. So, we talked about what happens as your vibration changes, as your relationships change. Sometimes people feel differently, they might feel very ungrounded. So, let's go into what to do now. Let's just say you've had all the discussions, you've addressed everything with people close in your life. With the outside world, I mean, really with the outside world, if it's people that aren't in your life, if it's somebody, a friend of a friend, somebody at the grocery store, people driving crazy, what's going on in the mass consciousness, I highly always recommend you to just put that outside of yourself. Let it be what it is. It is what it is. And not get engaged with people that you don't need to be engaged with. But when it comes to your relationships and things that are, we'll say, patterns showing up in your life, there are a number of things that we can do. So, egos will be egos. First of all, it's so important to remember who you are, who they are. It's not about you and it's not about them. It's about these constructs. It's about these egos. It's always so important not to take any of it personal, because if you're taking anything personally, you're not in your true essence, your true creator benevolence. You're in identity. Your consciousness is not personal. Okay? So if you're identifying with anything, be aware of that. Step back. Be in your awareness. Be in your essence, beyond identification. So, I'll give you an example of a recent situation, and this was not somebody personal in my life. So, again, you've had all the conversations, you've done everything you can do. It's either somebody in your life that the conversations have ended and it is what it is, or in this case, it's somebody that I hardly know. We'll call it the equivalent of a friend, or somebody you would see at the grocery store, you see periodically because you happen to be in the same place at the same time. And I want to share this with you because most of us who are conscious, who are awake right now, who have been going through this awakening, are very sensitive. The more expansive we get, we're sensitive. We tend to be traversing this, and at times we're the people that have tended to be the, whatever you want to call it, the light workers, the helpers, the caregivers, the ones to transcend the ego, to be kind instead of being mean, to be in that role of, and at times most of us have gone through looking at the world and other people going, why did people have to suffer? So having that desire to spread love or kindness in the world, to be kind to people that are suffering. Now, this goes into haters. If there are haters, they're suffering. Nobody hates for no reason. It's seeing that inside they're not happy. But there comes a mastery in letting things be. Once we've done everything we can, letting it be. And I'm going to use this example because this goes into somebody that I never talked to, somebody that I really don't know. But I would go, when I would be in the same place as this person, a lot of times I would feel very insecure, I guess you could say. Like, is my hair really that bad? Like, am I dressed poorly? Something like, do I have toilet paper hanging out the back of my pants? Or, like, why do I feel like peeling my own skin off? Like I just want to crawl in a hole. And I didn't see what was happening. This is where clarity is so great. And then I kept seeing this person, and I would always be nice to this. I would say hi to them. Hey, how's it going? How's the family? Stuff like that, because when I was in their presence, it was just so overwhelming, the sense and the feeling of their heaviness, their constrictedness, like their whole body tight, their jaw tight. I can feel their veins, their venules, their arteries constricting, this dark pit in their solar plexus. It's like, there's so much heaviness. It's like I was kind of feeling bad for them, right? Like, God, maybe I can say hi. I know in that space, I've had some really dark days where just a kind word from someone has just like meant the world to me. Okay. So I do that sometimes. It is what it is. And I stand by that decision and I enjoy that because it's wonderful sometimes to be on either end of that love. And that's human love. We're all here together. But it's important to be aware of different situations. So I kept seeing this person in my mind's eye because in those situations when I would feel like crawling out of my own skin, I was asking, show me what this is, show me what this is, show me. And as I do in such situations where I feel something is off, it's like we all have that intuitive ability to tune in and say, show me what is happening, and to be shown. We all have that ability. So I was shocked to see that this person wasn't just miserable, they were hating on me, sending me all these mean thoughts, and I could feel all these emotions, and that's why I felt like when I was around them. And it shocked me because I thought I've always tried to be so nice to them, and I can feel their angst and their So what then happened was my team showed up and said, "Hey Kathy, we want to show you something." And I was like, "Oh, cool. I must really be in a mess and a pickle here because I got my whole team, my whole angelic team around me going, we got some suggestions for you." So some things I was shown was every time I was being kind, I was almost pitying them, I was energetically feeding them. Back to this. I still had this little bit of an old pattern here of being that caregiver, that nice person, an old energy dynamic of wanting to smooth things over, wanting everyone to be happy, almost like a little bit of you could say, I don't know if it's a bigger ego, but of that wanting to help people, right? And I didn't think I had any of that left in my system, but it was still showing up very subtly, very subtly. And so I was shown that I was still playing that out. And in fact, at times it does not serve to, of course, at times it totally serves for the people that are asking for assistance, that are asking even for that little brightness in their day to say a kind word, to say hi, to smile at somebody. That can mean a lot. But in this case, and many people are in these energetic patterns, this person was in this energy pattern where they would pull back, go like this, have that kind of it's almost like a victim mentality where they shrink and then they think really mean thoughts. They're negative, they're angry, they project it outward, and it's sort of like a hook for people to come in and be like, "Hey, how are you doing? Is everything okay?" As they're very visibly kind of looking miserable, and you can feel it, of course. And for those that still have this little bit of, I'll call it in the old days, we called ourselves what? The first time I heard maybe a decade ago, a video on empaths, I was like, oh, am I an empath? Well, we're all sensitive. We all become more and more sensitive as we open up. But sometimes as you feel that in others, you will almost unconsciously be drawn to try to help them. And that's what was happening. So it's a beautiful human trait to want to help each other, except it's imperative to be aware if you're in one of these loops. So the action in and of itself, to be kind, to say hi, is a very beneficial thing. It serves me. I will continue to do that with people, but I was being made aware very clearly. It came to me for a reason that this is the dynamic going on with this person, so I could see that in other areas of my life and not fall into that trap again and understand why I'm feeling what I'm feeling. So it's all about clarity. Once again, it's about the awareness of these things. It truly does. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So maybe this will pertain to some of you. But what I was shown was, so every time I gave them that love, it was like they're just reloading their arsenal of hate and anger. So it was a cyclical cycle. So when I was, hey, how's it going? Trying to be nice, it was just kind of like falling into their trap. And it's an energy feeding thing. And this isn't a negative statement. This is not a put down. This is not that there's something wrong with it. It's that as humans in duality and separation, we all got into these energy patterns that we don't really know our way out of. Basically, we're not even aware of them. And there's a certain comfort, and there's it's like a feeding, it's like when I was younger, I woke up every day and ate that anger and that irritation, as my meal, and that gave me energy. It's like it energized me. Well, in this case, people saying, "Oh, how are you? Is everything okay?" and being nice because they could sense that was feeding this person. So number one, it was be aware. If you tend to have that similar energy as myself that I described, of wanting to smooth things over, not liking conflict, wanting to keep the peace, then there might be part of you that still has a little bit of a blind eye to other people's hate and anger and meanness, especially people you love, people in your everyday world. Oh, that person wouldn't possibly be doing that to me. Be aware, maybe open your eyes, because sometimes it comes from friends or family members that feel a little bit jealous or still holding a grudge. And it's not a negative, it's just part of their ego construction. So it's not really them. So keeping it impersonal. It's just about these old constructs, these old programs. So being aware, being totally honest, seeing it for what it is, and then not feeding it anymore. So not attempting to be nice. So the direction I got from my team was pretty funny, because they were like, number one, stop being nice. Don't be nice. Don't go up. Don't smile. Don't try to be, just walk right past them. Don't even look at them. And I'm like, okay, well, that sounds kind of snippy, but I can do that. Okay. All right. And then the next one really took me by surprise, because it was like, and guess what else you're going to do from now on? What? When you feel those negative thoughts, those mean thoughts, those emotions, because the thoughts come with this energy that doesn't feel so great, you're going to recognize it for what it is, which is setting it free, now that you know what it is, and you're just going to send it right back to them. And I actually had a twinge within myself of guilt. I can't do that. Now I feel like I'm hurting another person, because I know how shitty it feels to be on the receiving end. And their question to me was, did you create that energy? And I'm like, no. Send it back to them. And I said, okay, so that is a technique that anyone can use. You're not sending it back to them like an arrow. And be very clear that you're not. Because we all know that what we express out comes back to us. What we do to others, it's reflected back. So if you are sending this out with an agenda to hurt somebody, it's not going to be pretty for you. You're creating troubles for yourself, okay? Call it the law of attraction or whatever. But really, what you put out does come back. And when you create from the heart, it doesn't come back. It just expands like tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold when we go beyond duality. But in this case, you're just sending it back, saying, this isn't mine. I'm done. Just, here you go. I'm done. Just sending it back. I'm done. And you're sending it back to their true essence, to their higher levels, call it their higher self. You're sending it back to that true essence, the I am that I am, but you're sending it back to them, and then their true self from their light realms will just determine how, if that gets repolarized, purified, if they start feeling really uncomfortable in themselves or what happens. That's not your business. You're just saying, this isn't mine. I'm done. I see what's happening and I'm done. And that really goes into the next key here. So, being okay watching others squirm and be uncomfortable, being okay watching the haters be in hate, being okay watching them shrivel up and watching their bodies and organs shut down, or whatever the way you perceive it, watching people suffering. Unless they're saying, which I of course have a lot of people, I do private sessions, say, hey Kathy, can you help me with this? Great, I love to. But those that some people will try to feed on your niceness. They will take advantage of it. And it's not really them. It's happening as a gift for you to transcend that energy in the planet, even with random people. When you can do this with everyone, you become free, and other people aren't able to energy feed on you, because people can't feed on you. You can only give them your energy. And the clearer and clearer and clearer you become, more aware of what's really happening. Oh, you just take this and put it over here. That's not mine. Okay, yeah, all right, this person's not asking for assistance. Third, okay, I was still in that pattern. Done deal. Boom, you nailed it. And then what you want to do, well, we'll do this at the end, is reclaim your light. Bring back all the energy you've given to these folks. So, to other people. I'm gonna give you one more example though before we do that, because then we'll do an exercise. So you may have people that have been in your life that this pertains to, where you've had these conversations and you just aren't seeing eye to eye. You know, again, for those of us that just think, well, why can't we all just get along? Now, 20 years ago, I wasn't at this level of consciousness. I didn't just want to get along with everybody. There were some people I was stuck in my own grudges with, so whatever. People I just didn't like, you know. So there's no judgment here. It's not to say that there's any right or wrong. It's just, again, as we keep expanding and embodying more of our true essence and become more of that pure expression of our true benevolence, this stuff, it clears out more and more and more. But going back to the people that we talk to, that our relationships change with, they might not be accepting of your new way of being, of your new freedom, of your new way of being more of who you've always been, in fact. And they may be off in their corner, fuming, angry, energetically grasping at you, flinging you, kind of like the first video, those slimy, heavy balls of thoughts and emotions. And there's times where you might feel them in your energy field. I've had this in numerous instances. It could be family, friends, it could be any level of acquaintances. It doesn't have to be people close in your life. It could be old friends, whatever. And if you're in that situation where you've done everything, going back to the first two videos, to get clear and to stay clear, and you've resolved things within yourself, sometimes what you need to do is just cut the cord. I have kind of like a rule of thumb for myself that's helped me through this in many situations. And it's like, I've said what I need to say in the physical. Does it require a phone call? No, I've talked to this person, it is what it is. Or this, maybe it's just somebody I don't talk to anymore and it's done, and I don't feel any desire to like rekindle a relationship or whatever. Then it's like, if there's nothing to do in the physical, if you're not going to have a physical conversation, a good rule of thumb is, if it doesn't happen in the physical, it's not happening at all. So there's all these energies, thoughts, emotions that can be flinging around, but it's like going back to your breath and your presence and being fully here now. If it's not in my physical world, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist with other people. And so if you ever feel somebody's energy, their emotions, their thoughts, infringing on your space, a good thing is to break energy with them and send them off. Send them on their merry way. And just say, if you want to resolve something with me, you're going to need to do it in the physical. And then hand them over, once again, back to themselves, back to their true self. You could say to the whole universe, their higher self, God, whatever you want to call it. Hand them over to their higher self, their team, whatever. It's all the same thing. But it's out of your hands. It's not your job to resolve it. And you're saying, I'm done with this. Unless something is to happen, I get a phone call, I'll gladly talk to you. Great. But you're clearing out your energy field. You're not allowing for, again, your energy to be scattered into yesterday or tomorrow, out into the world with other people. You're just firmly not allowing, call it, any old hate, any old angst, any old conflicts to be part of your inner world. And so it's very simple. You break energy with them, say, I wish you the best, but we are done here. And you hand them over. That's it. And every time they show up, you just say, nope. Just like the other thoughts I talked about. They show up again, nope. Nope. Giving it as little energy as possible. So you're not feeding it, you're not thinking, you're not chewing, you're not analyzing. It's just a nope, off you go. Hand them back over, hand them back over, hand them back over, and then they will be gone. You might have to do that, but you have to be firm, because there's this old, you played part of this energy, you played part of this dynamic where there's part of you that was in that pattern that might feel seduced by it. Like you want to get into it. You want to defend yourself. You want to explain yourself. You want to blah, 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 whatever it is where you feel like you want to get in that sandbox. I highly recommend you don't get into the sandbox. You arise above it and recognize that that's an old identity, an old construct, and you as your presence, as your essence, as consciousness, that you are disengaging from that and seeing it for what it is, that it was a temporary creation that is no longer serving you. So it served at one point. And I also always, if you're feeling angst, this goes back to our previous videos, see how it served you. Recognize that it did serve you at one point. Bless it, thank it, and then you're done. So if you're feeling like any sense of battle, victim, negativity, we'll call it, in these cases, you're not going to be able to fully let it go unless you see the beauty, the benefit, how it served you, because at one point you fit that other part of that role and it served you where you were at in your consciousness then. You have outgrown it now. Okay. So that exercise in both cases, it's just handing it back over to the universe, to God, to their higher self, sending it back to them, really. It's not mine. You just over and over, and you stay firm and you don't engage with it. So get clarity, see it for what it is, resolve any angst within yourself to the point where you can see how it served, you can see the beauty in it. It's very important to see the beauty in every scenario, in every situation, in every encounter. The encounter I just spoke of, that person, thank you for sending me that. I didn't realize this is what was happening. And then I saw a few other areas in my life where I was intuitively reacting to other people's thoughts and energies. I mean, something as simple as me questioning, why do I keep, when my daughter's here, she's here every other week, I'd say, gosh, do we need any more food? Is there anything you want me to pick up from the grocery store? Are you sure there's nothing else you want for breakfast, lunch, dinner? And then I'm like, why do I keep asking her that? Like, such a ridiculous amount of asking. And then I realized her thoughts and feelings were influencing me, and I was feeding a tiny little pattern. Call it harmless, and of course it's all harmless, but the more clarity we get on this, we stop wasting our time and energy on these patterns. We stop feeding them and we just re-embody more of our light. So the last step is, after you've let these things go, you handed them back over. Maybe as we're talking today, maybe you've come to awareness of some of these patterns within yourself, within your life. If you have, let's hand them all over. Let's just take a few breaths together here today and reclaim our energy, reclaim our light. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth, just sink into your body. Come right into your solar plexus. Taking a beautiful deep breath into your solar plexus. If you'd like, close your eyes and just settle into yourself. And let's just, in one fell swoop here, let's just take every time we've been nice, we've given our energy to these patterns, we've given our light away to other people because we've been in tune to their thoughts and their energies and we haven't been aware of it. Let's just take everyone in our life that we might be playing that game with and hand them over and say, no more. No more. I'm done. I wish you the best. Thank you for highlighting this. I'm so glad I'm getting clear in this now. How exciting. and just toss them over. Hand them over to the whole universe, their angelic realms, archangelic realms, their higher levels, their multidimensional facets, their creator levels. You know, it's really a team effort here, and it's all one thing. It's all consciousness, it's all love, and it's all handing them over to the purity and the benevolence of source consciousness. So, handing them over, taking a breath. So they're gone. Yay. You just made a bunch of space for yourself. So let's welcome back our light, all the energy, all the power we've ever given to these people, these scenarios that we did unconsciously. Let's welcome it back right here, right now, cleared and purified. And take a deep breath in. And just feel it coming back in through your solar plexus. Take another deep breath into your solar plexus. My stomach is growling. And letting it fill up, fill up, fill up, fill up, fill up. Letting your whole body fill up. Even letting your whole energy field start to fill up, like where you might have felt a little deflated, a little sucked on, a little pulled on, where you might have had that cord attached. Let's just let it all fill up, fill up, fill up. Breathing in more of your light, more of your essence, not needing to give it away. We can share, we can shine, we can radiate with those who are truly, we'll say, showing up in the essence of either asking for you to share or for having fun and radiating and shining and laughing together. But we're just saying we're no longer going to give this light away to these old patterns that are not really benefiting you anymore and not benefiting them. And so we're ready to be done. So take another deep breath in. Fill up your lungs. If you haven't really fully filled up, take a huge breath and just do that one more time. Really challenge you here to fill up every cell, every particle of your lungs and every cell of your body with this fresh light, this pure energy. Bring it in. Reclaim your light. So you're embodying your light, your energy, your power, so that you can be radiant and have fun and feel light and joyful in the world and even dance among haters. And, you know, instead of walking up to them and saying, "Oh, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is everything going good?" Because you're feeling bad, you can walk up with an internal smile and say, "Hey, how are you doing? Is everything good with you? You look kind of upset." And inside you're laughing because you're not doing it out of empathy or sympathy. You see the game and you're having a little chuckle, not in a mean way, but in a way that's like, you know, I'm not playing this game anymore, and I'm not gonna feel like crawling into a hole because there's this tiny little ego facet that's projecting hate at me, and there's this true creator, right? The true essence of this person is right there. And they're buying in, they're pretending to be this little ego facet. So as you reclaim your light and your radiance, I highly recommend that you do not shrink, do not withdraw, do not hide, do not avoid due to people projecting at you. Take a breath and let yourself shine even brighter. Have a laugh, walk right up to them and say, "God, do you have a stomach ache? I see you're holding your stomach like this," or whatever, you know, and have some fun with it. Because truly, the more you have fun, you laugh, you let yourself enjoy and go out, you're doing more for the world than anything, really, by being the example of true benevolence, of not giving your power to the old dualistic games, which many are stuck in right now. So let's go beyond it together. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, I wanted to just take a moment and let you know about the group space that I have called Everyday Life as Creator. I'm about to make the next relationships video, which is going to be an exercise on, it's going to be just in time for Thanksgiving, where we connect with all of the souls in our life. We literally bring them forth and do some, I'm going to call it energy work, where we connect with them through their presence, looking at the roles they've played in our lives, how it served us, and really honoring that, seeing the beauty in it, and then thanking them and setting them free, even though they're, many of them are still in our lives and maybe some are not so much physically. But I'm gonna make my next video on this really beautiful exercise where we resolve everything at a soul level and get a good look at you could call it the dynamics, in some cases the soul contracts, the energy dynamics that have played out, and then reclaim all of our light, all of our clarity in those cases. So I'm about to make that next video, but I'm not going to be sharing it here on YouTube. It's for this group. So if you enjoy these videos, you might want to consider joining us. It's Everyday Life as Creator, because this journey, this experience of embodying our true, pure source essence and living from this space of, we'll say, something that is quite different often than others in the world. If you're watching this now as I make it, the world is going through a big mass awakening, and it's so wonderful to have friends along the way. So ironically, the first group, November and December, was on relationships, and kind of what I was shown as the point of this group, really one of the primary reasons for putting it together, amongst many reasons, as everything is always multifaceted, was for relationships, for friendships, for fun, to laugh at this journey, to laugh and enjoy and come together and share. And we have a beautiful group already in this space. So if you enjoy these videos, you might want to join us. We have a Zoom call coming up November 16th, and I think it's the 16th, don't quote me. And then one maybe December 2nd and December 16th, where we'll have some Zoom calls and we can all just get on and chat and talk about the topics, and whether people want to ask questions or share experiences or whatever. It's a pretty free type of space where everybody's encouraged to just show up, and it really is, also we all have our own, I always see people as kind of like this big spectrum, like a big sphere, like if you think like a big disco ball, and we're all like have this spectrum of strengths, of mastery. And in one area, I might be like super masterful, or I've just nailed it in life. And then in other areas, it might be like a challenge for me. And that goes with all of us. And so when we kind of come together as a group, if one of us is sort of like, oh, God, I'm kind of getting stuck in this area, I can't seem to quite see what's going on, or maybe there's just like a better way to approach this. It's cool when we're in a group setting because there's so many people with so many different experiences. It's like we together are so strong and full. It's not that we're not whole as our pure source essence, since this is what this group is about, but it is about bringing that through all the human conditioning. And especially at this point on the journey, a lot of us become very aware of a lot of the conditionings that started at a young age, where it's like our ability to, it's really where the rubber meets the road here. It's like you can spend forever watching videos and reading books and yada yada, but it's really taking the action. It's being able to speak and to act and to interact throughout the world from that place of mastery. And so that's kind of what the group is about, and you've gotten a good flavor if you've watched these relationship videos on our first series, relationships. So you're welcome to join us. It's only $30 a month right now. It's a discount for the first session, and I have locked that into place for people that have joined just because they're co-creators. They helped found this new space, so it's kind of exciting. And so you're welcome to join us anytime. Just go to my website, kathybauman.com. It's right on the homepage. Can't miss it. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. January and February, I've already been given the title, or the theme is going to be isness. So we're going to ring in the new year free and clear as our isness in the world, and how to incorporate that into everyday life. And so even if you don't join us, you'll be probably seeing some videos, as my clarity videos have now started to really coincide with what our group is doing. So I just thought if you made it through this whole video, it was worth mentioning this and inviting you to join us. So you're welcome to join anytime throughout the 2-month segment. And it's not a subscription. You just sign up for 2 months, and then you can choose if you want to sign up for 2 more months or not. That way you're always consciously making the choice to be there, as opposed to it being like an ongoing subscription type thing. So you can pick and choose what topics you like or whatever. All right. That's it. I hope you'll join us. Thanks for listening. Namaste.